So a little bit after your first album, I'm not real familiar with this story. I mean, I read about it, but hopefully you can clarify. So you were sent a cease and desist letter from Smif-N-Wessun, the firearms company, and you had to change your name, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they sent us a cease and desist letter about the width and length of a dictionary, encyclopedia of everything they made or ever trademarked or whatever, saying we was confusing the consumers, which is totally now cipher. There's no confusion between firearms and music. I don't see
Right.
where the correlation, where they even interact with each other. They spell totally different, and it had nothing to do with that. So then we switched over to the Cocoa Brothers, and we still had the fight on our hands. And right now we're back to Smif-N-Wessun. See, they
Excellent.
did so much underhanded shit. They damn near went bankrupt just for not fucking with us. We could have been on top of the world. We could have been the poster boys for Smif-N-Wessun. Damn near.
You would have thought it would have been a good combination, but I mean, I'm not a lawyer and I don't pretend to be one, but you spelled the name different. It sounds a little different. That's not illegal. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You right.
So how could they get away with that? How could they force you to
That,
change your name?
that was the whole fight. That was the whole premises of the fight. Like how can you say that? How can you say we're confusing anybody with this? It doesn't look the same. Spelled totally different. We ain't even got no logos that look like yours. So how can you compare the two and say we're disrupting your business? Nah, you can't do that. And that's discrimination, man. That's my opinion, my thoughts of why it went down like that.
Okay. How did you guys ultimately get your name back?
Fighting a lot of time in court, B. A lot of time in court papers going through it and fighting. And we actually got it to where they seen that there was no type of confusion. So they couldn't be, they had to let us rock.
Okay. So you said you could have been on top of the world. I couldn't imagine. How does that kill your momentum? You guys killed it with your first album. You're going into your second. Does that change things, or you change your name? No big deal.
I think the name change was what I want to say it hurt us because it still opened up a whole new generation of people. It gave us a whole new fan base with Cocoa Brovas. So, but people they didn't really grasp the Smif-N-Wessun Cocoa Brother name change. They thought it was, and then the videos they seen it, so it took them a little while to catch on. So that was right when we really had no momentum because that was right as soon as we dropped it. So as soon as we dropped it, what little momentum we was building up, it was a cease and desist letter on the desk. So we just had to, instead of just falling all the way off or out of sight, we was able to bob and weave and roll with the punches and come back with Cocoa Brothers. The music was still strong. It's still intact. So in the heart, it's still Smif-N-Wessun. Tim's on season for ass kicking reasons.
Sure. How did Cocoa Brothers come up? How did you come up with that name?
Well, Cocoa Brothers was more of a slang name that was given to us by Big Brothers Black Moon because we used to, like I said, we was in their session and we used to have copious amounts of marijuana, of chocolate tie and everything. All the black weed from 105th Uptown, my man Yam down in Panama we was rocking, and at every session they'd be like, "Yo, where the Cocoa Brothers at, man?" So that was like another name for weed. So it was like he was calling us the Weed Brothers. We supplying all the cocoa, the chocolate, the Mike Tyson. So they're like, "Yo, where's the Cocoa Brothers at?" And it just sort of stuck.